वर्यानेशते प्रश्नः कृतो लोकहृतं नृप आत्मवत्सम्मतः पुंसां श्रोतव्यादीषु यः परः वर्यानेशते प्रश्नः कृतो लोकहृतं नृप आत्मवत्सम्मतः पुंसां श्रोतव्यादीषु यः परः निद्रया ह्येते नक्तं व्यवायेन च वावयः दिवाचार्तिहय राजन् कुटुम्बाभरणेन वा निद्रया ह्येते नक्तं व्यवायेन च वावयः दिवाचार्तिहय राजन् कुटुम्बाभरणेन वा तस्मात् भारत सर्वात्मा भगवानीश्वरो हरिः श्रोतव्यः कीर्तितव्यश्च स्मर्तव्यश्चैच्छताभयम् तस्मात् भारत सर्वात्मा भगवानीश्वरो हरिः श्रोतव्यः कीर्तव्यश्च स्मर्तव्यश्चैच्छताभयम् एतावान् साङ्ख्ययोगाभ्यां स्वधर्मा परिनिष्ठया जन्मलाभः परः पुंसां ते नारायणस्मृति एतावान् साङ्ख्ययोगाभ्यां स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठया जन्मलाभः परः पुंसां ते नारायणस्मृति एतन्निर्विद्यमानानाम् इच्छतामकुतो भयं योगिनां नृपनिर्णीतां हरेर्नामानुकीर्तनम् एतन्निर्विद्यमानानाम् इच्छतामकुतो भयं योगिनां नृपनिर्णीतां हरेर्नामानुकीर्तनम्. Before I start, I wanted to give a quick summary of second canto, which is a very important discussion we need to have. And the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is called Cosmic Manifestation. I just wanted to briefly take this overview today a little bit. On Sunday I will elaborate it, but this for this session, maybe 10 minutes I will take. This song is considered a summary of entire Bhagavatam, this second canto. It explains the process of realizing the truth in 3 stages. The level of realizing the impersonal aspect of absolute Brahman, then super soul residing in the heart, then realizing the personality of God. It is also contained Purusha Sukta chanted by the demigods and tells about the regular incarnations of the Lord and their missions. At the end of second canto, 10 topics of Bhagavatam are described. It is like the song is summary of the entire Bhagavatam. The analogy is given with that of Gita explained. Gita explains the stories of Mahabharata in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You will find all the personalities, then the stories related to them. Similarly, if you take the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is a summary of all the topics which are going to be covered in Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, here Bhagavatam, you have first chapter, you have something from Mahabharata, and then the second canto describes the summary which is going to cover. Of course, it is not chronological, but all these topics will be covered eventually like that. And second canto also describes Virat Rupa, the meditation on Virat Rupa, the 3, it is 4 times explained. And then the 8-fold meditation on chakras, the glories of devotional service, obstacles in the path of bhakti, talks about how faith arises, talks about different types of liberations, about the structure of universe with 14 planetary systems, with Shushumar chakra and all. Also, it talks about Varnashram system, Sarga, Visarga, and then there is all these things. The process is demigods and this, and explaining the process of mechanism of sacrifice. Like that, the different manus, past tense of Lord is also explained. And of importantly, then they give the 4th Chatushloki of Bhagavatam, and then identifying 10 topics of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, this Prabhupada actually summarizes in the second canto's 3rd chapter, 24th verse also, this one. And special attention is given to the process of hearing and chanting, especially Prabhupada writes in the purport. We will come to that purport also. In addition, there is a description of universal form and all this. Now, in other words, the second canto, we discuss about the third. This is first 3 chapters of the second canto. They are describing about the progression towards understanding the absolute truth. It becomes the 3rd chapter is addressed to those who are already reached the state of Vishnu worship and pure devotional state. And we also discussed last Sunday, we were discussing on how absolute truth, there are different aspects according to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, which will help us by reading Bhagavatam, will overcome that type of understanding of absolute truth. First is Samshayavada, doubts, and Nastikavada, and denial of the personal form, and the Nirvisheshvada, impersonal conception, and Kliba, the concept of a same sexless God, Kliba, and then there is Purusha, then there is Purusha with energies, and Purusha with Mithuna relationship, and then there is Parakiyavada, Swakiyavada and Parakiyavada, like that. And all these understandings are the highest understandings of God is easily, properly understood when we go through Bhagavatam. Now, the second chapter, it has the first small, we'll try to understand what exactly these 10 chapters are telling. You can make a note of this one, it will be helpful. And if we hear like this about second canto, we'll be very eager to know, we'll be eager to read also. And first introduction of Sukadeva Goswami is Cold's materialistic people. He began to describe a meditation on the Lord's universal form in this chapter. Now what we are going to see in the next few shlokas. And in the second chapter, he describes meditating on Paramatma. Now Virat Rup is over, then Paramatma, Lord in the heart. And the third chapter begins with the description. Elaborately on these things, I will take on the structural, because here I will not be able to take. But I am just giving a synopsis, you get an idea. Of course, some other important points also I'll try to mention. Then the third chapter, second is the meditation on Paramatma. Third is the Lord in the heart, where chapter begins with description of fruits of worship of various demigods, and end the expression of gratitude to Savanaka Rishi. This is the third chapter, which takes us half of the chapter. And the fourth chapter begins with glorifying of Maharaj Parikshit and his questions, and end with a long Mangalachan by Sukadeva Goswami. He is glorifying the Lord. In that way, the first four chapters end. Fifth chapters are doubts about from Narada Muni. First is about universal form description, Paramatma, then demigod worship. It is said no need of demigod worship, worship Supreme Lord. Enthusiasm, and the fourth is about glorification of Parikshit Maharaj and his questions, and also prayers by Sukadeva Goswami. Like, because he did not chant Mangalacharan till now. After fourth chapter he chants. So not for us it is fourth chapter. For him he just spoke something and then he is reciting the Mangalacharan. And the fifth chapter begins with the doubts from Narada Muni, because he sees Brahma meditating, he gets a doubt. In response to which Brahma describes the creation of the world. This is fifth chapter. And sixth chapter, the famous Rig Veda, famous hymns from Rig Veda, which are Purusha Sukta, they are explained. And this again explains the universal form of the Lord, and how the world is created, and how Lord himself, and how he likes and he still sees the world. And this is from the sixth chapter. Of course, fifth also some part of creation is explained. So fifth and sixth have some parallels. And seventh is the list of 24 avatars of the Lord. They are briefly describe all this past tense. And eighth consists almost entirely the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. And in the ninth, Sukadeva Goswami answers some of these questions and narrates the story of creation again, referring to Brahma's conversation with Lord Narayana. He gives Chatushloki of Bhagavatam, and briefly in a very concentrated form describes its essence, and the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are listed by Sukadeva Goswami. So this is what is the whole synopsis of second canto, if you take. But the internal logic of this is not very, does not become very clear, because the whole song, it is conveying a very important idea. The universe is directly connected to the Lord. We cannot understand Lord to some extent by contemplating his creation. We can understand by contemplating on some, but why then don't Acharyas classify this song as Sarga because it is talking about creation, but it is not classified as primary creation. Now the second canto from the Acharya's point of view, this is what we can see second canto. We'll see what Acharya says according to the Acharyas. This is describing the process of hearing. The first canto we discussed is Adhikara Tattva, second is Sadhana Tattva. In the first canto, this was Tasmat Sarvatmana Rajan, Hari Sarvatra Sarvada, Shrotavya Kirtitavyasya, Smartavyo Bhagavan Nina. And this is from the last verse, and Pibantiye Bhagavata Atma Satam. Like now, it is important that everyone always and everywhere hear the narrations of the Supreme Lord. Now, here this canto is about hearing, sadhana tattva, how important it is hearing and meditating and progress. This is how we have to look at the second canto, because every canto want to convey some message. We have to try to get that message from the canto. First canto, what is the message we should get? What is the qualification to hear Bhagavatam? Second canto, the message we should get is what is sadhana tattva, how I need to perform the sadhana to understand Bhagavatam, like that. And now here there are some important points from the purport which I wanted to discuss, which I said yesterday also. This is yeah. These two purports are very important. I said again, we'll just read this purport. The Parikshit Maharaj asking, though the fortunate King Parikshit inquiring further said, O Brahmana, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to. Actually, the structural review of second canto is still there. So much is there. And just a little bit. Tomorrow I'll take more because I want to complete some of the points from the purport also. That's why I'm just kept it on hold. We'll do in parts. That the purports are also justified because I want to, if possible, I'll try to complete this first chapter. Try to do it today because it is, of course, we'll see purports. Some of are very big. We'll see how it is possible. But these two purports, it's very important. Please pay attention. The dirty things in the heart of the conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. Simple. Any trouble is dirty heart. If you have dirty heart, what is the result? We remain unhappy. Happy person means heart is clean. It's not wealth, it's not position, power, facilities, comforts, beauty, youth, power in senses. That is not going to make you happy unless heart is impure like that. A conditioned soul is surrendered by the manifold miseries of material existence, but on account of his gross ignorance, he is unable to remove the troubles due to dirty things in the heart accumulated during the long prison life in the material world. And he is actually meant to serve the Supreme Lord. This is this part. And next purport is also very nice. He says that Sudhe Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulate the breathing process by the yogic pranayama, thus control the mind and senses with intelligence, applying the mind to the gross potencies of the Lord called Virat Rupa. Now, the materially absorbed mind of conditioned soul does not allow him to transcend the limits of bodily conception of life, and thus yoga system for meditation, controlling the sitting posture and breathing posture and fixing the mind upon Supreme is prescribed in order to mold the character of the gross materialistic. Unless such materialists are able to cleanse the materially absorbed mind, it is impossible for them to concentrate upon thoughts of transcendence. Unless we clean the materially absorbed mind, this is the problem. And to do so, one may fix one's mind on the gross material or external feature of Lord. The different parts of the gigantic form of the Lord are described in the following verse. Prabhupada writes, the materialistic men are very anxious to have some mystic powers as a result of some controlling powers, but the real cross yogic regulation is to eradicate the accumulated dirty things like lust, greed, anger, and all these things. The mystic yoga is diverted by the accompanying feats of mystic control. Then his mission of yoga success is a failure because the ultimate aim is God. So if they are caught up with these things, then they are finished. And this is a very nice way Prabhupada is explaining how we should focus on purifying the mind. We should not get affected by, if we are working on fulfilling our desires, the desires are because of dirty mind only. This is all contamination in the mind. All our desires, material desires, are contaminations. If I want to have a washing machine or a fridge or a cooler or a mobile or a nice car or a house, any of these material desires, we may think what is wrong in material desires. That is only wrong. Material desire itself is the cause of our stay in this material world. Material desires is the contamination in the heart. Material desire is cause of anxiety. Even if we fulfill material desires, it's not going to make us happy. We should be completely convinced with this. Otherwise, we cannot take to spirituality only. There is no point. Spirituality means you understood that material life don't work. Then what is the point of material desires? It is one thing that we are not able to give it up, but we should not have faith in material desires. That is what is very important. If you have faith in material desires, maybe if I have a good house, then I will be there, then I will be happy. If we have this idea, then that is a problem. If you still have faith that if I have a villa, if I have a big car, if I have a good washing machine, mobile or a TV, or if I have something, I'll be happy. This hope is actually wrong. Krishna, that's why he's telling, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chittasa nirasir nirmamo bhutva. Nirasir. Give up your hope. Give up your desire. Don't hope that any of these material things will make me happy. If you think, okay, if I have a house in Vrindavan, I'll be happy. This is not like that. This is all material hope. Won't work. Only one thing will work. Whatever Krishna wants, it is good for me. That hope is only will work. Any other hope, any other idea. Maybe if I get married, I'll be happy. If I get divorced, I'll be happy. If I have children, I'll be happy. If my children grow, I'll be happy. Nothing will make you. Only one thing. Krishna will make us happy. If you have any hope, that is all contamination in the mind, contamination in the heart. Any questions on this? You all agree with this point? Whether you agree or not. This is not my point. Sukadeva Goswami is telling, Prabhupada is writing. Okay, agreed. Thank you. Yes, at least somebody has objection. Yes, Mataji.
It's not about objection, Prabhuji. What I was just thinking is, Srila Rupa Goswami also talks about Yukta Vairagya. So when we have these objects around us, it's not that we are desiring for self-pleasure, but in terms of, making things easier for us and in executing our household duties, is it wrong to think about having a washing machine or whatever you have just mentioned? I know washing machine also will break down if the power is off. That also goes useless. But at the same time, what I was just thinking is, doesn't do not things make things simpler for us to some extent?
Don't have hope that will make you happy. You just utilize it. And if you have anything, Mataji, there is a payment. If you take any facility, we have to pay for that. It is not free in this world. Like if I have a big house, I know I have to clean the house also, I have to maintain the house also. I am ready for that headache, then go for a big house. If I know, because when I go for a room, I thought big room, small room. Then I said big room means big cleaning. Small room means small cleaning. Better is small room because I am little lazy. Because everything has a payment in this world. Even you go for Yukta Vairagya, you want to take some things, you are ready to pay for it. There will be some other payment we have to do for it. you're ready to take that much anxiety, and then you feel that like you have option between washing clothes in a mechanic with the help of doing mechanical with bucket and tub, or you have washing machine, and you have another option. Okay, if I wash like this, then my body is healthy because I'm working. If I don't work, then I have to go to gym because I'm a washing machine. I have to do walking or some other thing. You, whichever is convenient for you. Okay, while doing my gym and walking, I can hear the lecture. In that way, it is little more easier for me, and go for a washing machine. Whatever is favorable, we do, but it is not without payment. Anything in this world we take means we have to pay for it. Not just payment in terms of money, payment in terms of consciousness, energy, time. So many things are there. So Yukta Vairagya is not just you have things and no, everything is fine. I can have big house, big car, and everything is for Krishna only. It is not like that. Am I having that capacity to handle also? Say if I am given a big temple and say, Prabhuji, now you handle it. I know I cannot handle it. It is Yukta Vairagya only, na, big temple, no, you can do so much preaching. But it is not according to my capacity.
Yeah,
And
but I have seen many devotees, Prabhuji, who want a huge drawing room just so that, many devotees come and they can do satsangs. And they're quite nicely utilizing it also. I have personally seen it.
that
So,
is not wrong. They have the capacity to utilize. I am telling I don't have capacity. You have capacity, that much only you take. See, if they are having big drawing room, they can have program. If they are given a temple, they can do much more program. But they can handle a temple, no, they cannot handle. So they can have one big hall and do that much only, which they can handle peacefully. When you sit in the morning, you are able to hear the holy name when you are chanting. That means you are in a very good state. If you are in the morning, whether whatever I have is Yukta Vairagya or not, you want to know. While maintaining that, while taking care of them, while acquiring them, if it is not disturbing your morning chanting, then you are doing Yukta Vairagya. If any of these activities, while acquiring, while doing, while maintaining them, is causing you anxiety and it is disturbing your chanting, then you have to consider again. Like some people
okay.
nicely they utilize, and then they keep everything which is favorable for them, and they like to do satsang. They want to call, invite devotees to home and feed prasadam. That is what is inspiring them to chant nicely. That is Yukta Vairagya. If any of your objects or items are not helping you in your devotional service, it is disturbing your chanting, then it is not Yukta Vairagya. Then there is something more we have to do to get rid of these things.
Okay, so you mean it's directly proportional to your spiritual abilities also. It's
Ah,
not just
yes.
like processing something. Okay.
Like if I have given, okay, you take 5 buses and Yukta Vairagya engage in book distribution, I cannot handle because I know what is my level. That
Hmm.
accordingly I should take.
Okay. Thank you, Prati.
But not necessarily that all family members are satisfied minimum thing. We have to take, because you satisfying family members is also part of your practice of devotional service, because if they are favorable, they can peacefully sit and chant. If they are not peaceful, you will not be able to peacefully sit and chant. For their sake, you can have some facilities and allow them to be in a comfortable state so that uh, you will be able to peacefully chant the holy name like that. Yes, Sonamali Guru.
So, but the thing is, what you are saying is that is perfection, right? So everybody in devotion are at different levels. Some people, people who come who are in devotion, I mean, they are aspiring for perfection, but at different levels, the purification happens, right, Prabhu? But you cannot expect them to be, like what you have benchmarked, right, Prabhu? Right, Prabhu? Like
Yeah.
some people have desire of having a big house, but so they satisfy the desire by also involving Krishna consciousness, but it might not be the pure devotion service, but they're slowly purifying their
Oh,
process.
having desires is not wrong, true. Having hope that will make me happy is the problem. You can have desires,
No,
you can have a big house. we cannot overcome them. See, if somebody has a desire to have a big house, na, you cannot give up the desire. It won't go so easily. What should be given up? Na? The hope that this will make me happy in future, that should be given up. That's all.
Okay. So
No need to, you have a desire to become a big industrialist, big businessman. I want to have a big empire and you want to set up big things. It will not go immediately. You can continue doing that activity to bring a big. What we have to give up in that now, only one part we have to give up. This will not make me happy because I cannot do otherwise. I am doing it, but I know this is not going to be happy. What will make me happy is by chant my holy name properly. That is what is going to make me happy. So this is very important. We should hold on. Not that I have to give up because now I have a desire to eat some nice samosa. I will not restrain. I want, okay, I will go to Govindas, I take samosa and eat, but I should always be conscious that this is not going to make me happy. I need to please Krishna, that will make me happy. If I eat in a proper way, for pleasure of Krishna, that will satisfy me, not just my satisfaction of the senses or my ego or my mind or like that.
That all devotees who are in the process of devotion in Krishna consciousness, they all have that thing in their mind. But at the same, I'm trying to contradict my own statement in that. If I have that big desire, which is not going to give me satisfaction, but I'm going to do it anyways. But is there any way to stop the desire or take away the desire?
No, that is not possible. That is, Krishna will remove if he sees that to remove desires is not so easy. Even when Dhruva Maharaj, he saw the Lord and Lord says, what do you want? He says, oh, Swamin Pita Tosmi Varam Nayache Kachan Vichinbam Abhidivyaratnam. He says, oh, I was searching for piece of glass, I got diamond and I don't want anything. Lord says, still I'll give you the kingdom which you wanted, because that is not so easy for him to give up. Lord also understands. Now you may say like that, but after going home you'll regret. Arey, I should have asked for a kingdom better than Brahma. Why didn't I ask? That's why Lord understands, because it is such a very deep thing. We cannot give up. Only thing is we have to see if it is not very unfavorable to Krishna conscious, then it is okay. If it is very unfavorable to Krishna, then we'll not do it. But if it is okay, it is in line with my process, it is not disturbing my sadhana, then you want to have a good house, have a good car, which you already have the desire, somebody want to become a IAS officer, anything. If the desire is there very strongly, they can work on it parallelly, fulfilling their doing proper sadhana. That will, what happens now, he will get purified out of it and he will be able to understand that, and Lord will also help him to get things, and he will also help him to understand the reality. These things now, Lord will say, I can give you more than what you are expecting. What IAS, what IAS officer, what big house, what big car. I can give you spiritual world where it is Satchidananda. It is unlimited way of enjoying. They're all Kalpavruksha, they're Chintamani stones. What is this material wealth, material name and fame? I'll give you all spiritual. The Lord is ready to give, and that realization we get. Initially we may think, oh, I am just missing something out in this material world. Lord says everything is in the material world is a dream only. If you have a big dream, small dream, anything is a dream. Why you are so much into a dream? I will give you reality. That will happen when we do our sadhana, and parallelly some desires which are not very detrimental. Not that if he want to become top 10 billionaires in the world, or if you don't have such very ambitious desires, then it is not a problem.
So basically what you're saying is that our aim should be to develop love for Krishna unconditionally. But if we have desires in between, even if we can't hold on to, if we can't avoid them, we can fulfill them as long as they are not, against Krishna consciousness, against sadhana.
Yeah.
But eventually, once we get purified, then spiritual world will be ours, right?
Yeah. And hope should be given up. That why we go for the desires? We have hope that this will make me happy. That is why we go for the desires again and again. See, if I am working, I am walking all the way 2 kilometers to purchase some sweet, a special sweet. What is that? I have a hope that special sweet will make me happy. That hope is remaining enough for me. That's why I'm walking all the way 2 kilometers. But I lose the hope. then my desire is also really I need it. I can just go to temple and take nice prasad. Why should I walk 2 kilometers? This is only 2 minutes. Like that, the hope is what is creating enthusiasm for us to work hard in this world. Yes, bro. Thank you. Question from Kalpana Mataji. Any desire which keeps us, you are okay, bro? One more, bro.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Okay. Any desire which keeps us away from remembrance of Krishna, then that is a contamination. If any desire which is anukul sankalpa for devotion, then that is secondary limbo. Yeah, that is sankalpa. Yes. Thank you, Archana Matajan. But many a times fulfillment of desire does not make one happy, though only temporarily. That is what we crave for every time we indulge. That will go eventually. What happens is, while doing that activity, because we are doing sadhana, the taste will go. Even when we are indulging in nice, you go to some nice things and eat, you don't enjoy like what materialistic people do, because they are fully into it and they're absorbed and they have faith in that. That's why they are more happy in doing sense enjoyment than a devotee. If devotee goes for a movie, he will not enjoy like a materialistic person. First thing, he will feel guilty, and second, they will understand it's not reality, and third thing, he will feel, why did I come? Slowly he will not have any taste. This is actually what happens. This is what happens when we do sadhana properly. The taste will go away for material enjoyment. Even by habit, they may be doing that activity, but they don't have taste in that activity. That's actually what happens. It's like a snake without the poisonous fangs, or fan is rotating, but it is not connected to the power supply. It's just rotating out of that momentum. Similarly, when devotees do some activity, looks like material activity, but it is they are doing out of their conditioned nature, but it is they lost the taste for it, because they already started tasting the nectar from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. That is the advantage for them. Even little bit of sadhana we do sincerely, finish. That is a very dangerous thing you have done already. We lose the taste for material enjoyment slowly. There is nothing. This process will drag you to perfection, Prabhupada writes, because there is no taste only. Then what is the problem? And because we don't have alternative, that's why we try to do it a little bit. Sometimes we get free time, then we go and search in YouTube some videos here, there. And after seeing sometimes we say, my God, why did I waste so much time? I could have just read Bhagavatam or something like that. And there is one question. As long as there is one single material desire, we cannot achieve perfection. How do we know that we still have material desires? We have material desires. We will not know. Because if you are unhappy, means we still have material desires. Very simple. If you are not unhappy and you are completely blissful in Krishna conscious, before alarm rings 3 o'clock, we are waking up and sitting and want to chant, want to wake up before the alarm rings, and you want to sleep very early to the very eager for going for Mangalarti, and very eager to serve the Vaishnavas and bring Vaishnavas to home and serve them prasadam and do dancing for Krishna. Then we know that we are already in spiritual world, free from all material desires. The vasanas don't go easily. After Nishtha, Anartha Nivritina, it's a big stage. When we come to Nishtha, then it is easy. Even though the traces will be there, but they don't affect us so much. Okay. This is a very important discussion for us. We have to hear it again and again. This is very important for us. We have just discussed. This is a very nice purport. We'll just do it from here. The gigantic universal form. I wanted to tell why to meditate on universal form, because today we don't have. Tomorrow I'll explain what is the importance of meditating on this. Some points I'll share, because today I shared structure, and in 2-3 days I'll complete the structure, and this also maybe tomorrow I'll take this, and after that I'll complete the structure. And an overview. The gigantic universal form of the personality of Godhead within the body of the universal self, which is covered by sevenfold material elements, is the subject of Virata conception. So this is what is Virat Rupa all about. This is within the body of universal self, which is covered by sevenfold material elements. And we'll see what are them. Prabhupada is explaining. Simultaneously, the Lord has multifarious other forms, and all of them are identical with the original fountainhead form of the Lord Sri Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, it has been proven that the original transcendental eternal form of Lord is Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead. But by his inconceivable internal potency, Atmaya, he can expand himself by multifarious forms and incarnations simultaneously without being diminished in his full potency. This is very inconceivable. 1 minus 1 is also 1. 1 plus 1 is also 1. 1 minus infinite is also 1. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate. What you can, if you go through the purport, so many such very nice points we can see. He is complete, and although innumerable complete forms emanate from him, he is still complete without any loss. That is his spiritual or internal potency. And same thing it is further explained. They can see only the circular, these are the coverings. Each covering is sevenfold material coverings are water, fire, air, sky, ego, pneumino, and material nature, just like a huge football, pumped and covered, floating on the water of causal ocean, wherein the Lord is lying as Mahavishnu. All the universes in the seed are emanating from the breathing of Mahavishnu, who is but a part of partial expansion of the Lord, and all the universes presided over by the Brahmas vanish when the Mahavishnu withdraws his great breath. In this way, the material world are being created and vanquished by the supreme will of Lord. One can just imagine how ignorant is the poor foolish materialist who simply on the allegation of a dying man puts forward an insignificant creature to become a Lord's rival incarnation. The Virat Rupa was particularly exhibited by the Lord just to give lessons to such foolish men, so that they can accept a person as an incarnation of God only if the person is able to exhibit the Virat Rupa. That is the point. If you want to say somebody is Lord, or he is already dying, you are telling him as God. And persons who have realized it has studied that the planets known as Patala consist the bottom of the. Now from here onward the descriptions start. Very simple, nice description. How to see the universal form of Lord. Actually, that is true. You make anybody as God. I have my uncle. I was because of him I came to Krishna conscious. Why? Because he said, I'll fulfill all your desires. I went and asked something and he didn't do. He told me to do something. I didn't, but he did not fulfill my desire. Then I understood, oh, this fellow is cheating. Actually, I was worshipping Krishna only from childhood. In between, I got deviated in 8th class and 9th class. And then I asked something, he did not give. I said, why should I go to this person and go back to my Krishna and worship him? Honestly, I wasted my time. And that helped actually in one way, because I got cheated nicely. And he still is there only now also, and people worship him, and he cannot do anything much. But many people go like that, some deviation. Krishna is very kind. He helps and protects. I go to all these bogus people because we have hope now that this desire will fulfill, make me happy, and like that. Now we'll see this universal form, nice description. We can remember this, and why it is important to meditate. This 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also tells about vibhutis of the Lord, and here universal form of the Lord. All these things have very nice particular purpose to help our mind to focus on the Supreme Lord. We'll see some of the purpose and then we'll come back to what exactly is the benefit we are all going to get benefit. What benefit and how to take advantage. It's not just reading. we need to really understand the purpose, and that should be fulfilled after our reading. We need to fulfill that. Outside the bodily existence of the Supreme Personality of God, the manifested cosmic existence has no reality. This is the point. Outside the body, this is actually Vishishta Advaita philosophy is also based on this only. Outside the bodily existence, Supreme Person, the manifestation does not exist. No reality. Everything and anything of the material world rests on him, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. But that does not imply that everything and anything in the vision of materialist is the Supreme Personality of God. So here Madhvacharya has a difference with Ramanujacharya. He says, Are, you are telling, because they say everything and anything manifested world rests on him. This is the Vishishta Advaita. But Madhvacharya says, no, it is Dvaita. It does not imply that anything and everything in the vision of materialistic is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now our philosophy comes. The conception of universal form of the Lord gives a chance to the materialistic to think of the Supreme Lord, but the materialistic must know for certain that this visualization of world is a spirit of lording over it. It is not God realization. The materialistic view of exploiting of material resources is occasioned by the illusion of external energy of the Lord. And as such, if anyone wants to realize the supreme truth by conceiving of the universal form Lord, he must cultivate the service attitude. Yeah, of course, this is another point. What is the point here it is made is, if you want to understand the Supreme Personality of God, a universal form also, when you see the material nature, don't see to how to exploit it. That's what all the scientists do, all these business people do. They want to extract something from the nature and they want to manipulate it and they want to use it for their enjoyment. How can we use this rare minerals, this minerals, that minerals, everything they want to process and see, okay, you can make nice laptops, you can have nice aircrafts, you can make nice air conditioners, all these things we want to utilize it for our own sense gratification. But that is not the way we can see the universal form. It is said, if anyone wants to realize the supreme truth by conceiving of the universal form, he must cultivate service attitude. Unless service attitude is revived, the conception of Virat realization will have very little effect on the seer. The transcendental Lord in any conception of his form is never a part of material creation. He keeps his identity of Supreme Spirit in all circumstances and is never affected by the three material qualities. For everything material is contaminated, the Lord always exists by his internal energy. So here our Achintya Veda Veda Tattva comes, some part is explained. That Lord has his personality, but still he is not affected by it. Whereas Sri Vishishtadvaita says everything is part of Lord. He says everything is part of Lord, but Lord is separate, it is his energy. And now here the Prabhupada is giving how the universe is divided 14 planetary systems. 7 planetary systems are Bhu, Bhuva, Mahar, Jana, Tapa and Satya, upward. And then there is downward is Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal and Patal. Like that. And this is the knees of the universal form of the planetary systems of the name Sutala, the two thighs of Vitala and Atala, the hips of Mahatala, and the upper space in between, a space in the depression of his navel is Mahatala. And then the chest of the original personality of the gigantic family, the illuminary planet system, his neck is the Mahar planet, his mouth is Jana planet, his forehead is Tapa planet, his topmost planet known as Satya is the head of him who has 1,000 heads. So this is 1,000 heads, Virat Rupa. And the effulgence, I don't know how they are going to Chandraloka, but Chandrayaan 3. But here it does not suit the description which is given in our Shastra. The effulgent luminary planets like the sun and the moon are situated almost in the midpoint of the universe, and as such, they are to be known as the chest of the original gigantic form of the Lord, and above the luminary planets, called also the heavenly space of the universal dictator, directors, demigods are Mahar, Jana, and Tapa planet system. Above all, the Satya planet system, where the chief directors of the modes of material nature resides, namely Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. This Vishnu is known as Kshiradakshaya Vishnu, and he acts as a super soul in every living being. Like that is explained. And then his arms are now here. What happened? Planetary systems are explained. How the planetary systems are different parts of the Lord. Now different demigods, how they are part of Virat Rupa. Now the arms are the demigods headed by Indra. 10 direction sides are his ears. The physical sound, his sense of hearing. His nostrils are two Ashwini Kumaras. And material fragrance, his smell, sense of smell, his mouth is the blazing fire. So here elements, directions are how they are part of Lord's universal form is explained. And Bhagavad Gita also, this some of the explanation is given. The conception of Virat Roop or the gigantic form of the Supreme Lord is said to include all the dominating demigods as well as the dominated living beings. Even the minutest part of living being is controlled by the empowered agency of the Lord. Since the demigods are included in the gigantic form of Lord, worship of Lord, where in his gigantic metal conception or in his eternal transcendental form as Lord Sri Krishna, also appears the demigods and all other parts and parcels, as much as watering the root of a tree distribute energy to all the tree's other parts. That's the like if you are worshipping Krishna, demigods, because they're part of the Lord, they also get satisfied. That is the point. Because they are also part of, here we are seeing how they are part of this universal Virat Roop. Consequently, for a materialistic also, worship of universal gigantic form of the Lord leads him to the right path. Instead of worshipping demigods, it is better to worship the universal form. One need not risk being misled by approaching many demigods for fulfilling his different desires. The real entity is the Lord himself, and all others are imaginary, for everything is included in it only. And the space of the space or outer space consists of his eyeballs, and the sun is his power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night, and in the movements of his eyeballs, Brahma and similar supreme personalities reside. His palette is Varuna, and the director of water and juice are the essence of everything is his tongue. Like that, you can meditate on this. you know. Prabhupada, right? To common sense, the description in this verse appears to be somewhat contradictory, because sometimes the sun is described as the eyeball, and here the outer space sphere is so described. But there is no room for common sense in the injunction of Shastras. Prabhupada is writing such a nice word. He's telling, don't use your common sense. It is anyway not going to work so much. We must accept the description of Shastra and concentrate more on the form of Virat Rupa than on common sense. Common sense is always imperfect, whereas the description of the Shastra is always perfect and complete. If there is any incongruity, it is due to our imperfection, not the Shastras. This is the method of approaching Vedic. Such a nice purport. Please remember this purport. By heart this purport. It is very helpful for our preaching. No common sense. Don't use it. Just follow the Shastra. They say that the Vedic hymns are the cerebral passage of the Lord, and his jaws of teeth are Yama, god of death, who punishes the sinner. The art of affection is his set of teeth. The most alluring, illusory material energy is smile. His great ocean of metal creation, this great ocean of metal creation is but the casting of his glance over us. So, according to Vedic assertion, this metal creation is a result of Lord's casting a glance over the metal energy, which is described herein as the most alluring, illusory energy. The conditions are allured by such materialism should know that the temporary metal creation is simply an imagination of the reality, and that those who are captivated by such alluring glances of the Lord are put under the direction of control of sinners called Yamaraj. The Lord smiles affectionately, displaying his teeth. The intelligent persons who can grasp this truth about the Lord becomes a soul fully surrendered unto Him. And some other form we can meditate on universal form. Modesty is the upper portion of his lip. Hankering is his chin. Religion is his breast of the Lord. And irreligion is his back. Brahmaji, who generate all living beings in the material world, is his genitals. And the Mitra Varna are his two testicles. The ocean is his waist. And the hills and mountains are stacks of his bones. The question is, by superimposing this concept of Virat Rupa, can we understand that Jiva is part and parcel of God and he is connected by devotional service? Without devotional service also we are connected only because we are part of Lord. Some perform devotional service and develop a relation with Him, some don't develop relationship. Connection cannot be anytime broken. You connect to Lord as law of karma, or you are connecting to Lord in a personal form. If you are accepting Lord as a person and accepting in a personal form, then Lord directly takes care of us. No law of karma. If you don't accept as a person and trying to relate with Him, then you are connected to the Lord through law of karma. These are the two ways we are connected to the Lord, either directly or through law of karma. But connection is not gone because this is always we are connected only. We are all part and parcels of the Lord, like that. And this is a very important. If you see, the irreligion is also present in the Lord. This is also part of Lord only. Back part of the Lord. Prabhupada, Supreme Lord is not impersonal, as misconceived by less intelligent thinkers. Rather, he is a supreme person, as confirmed in all authentic Vedic literatures. But his personality is different from that we can conceive. It is stated here that Brahmaji acts as his genitals and that Mitra and Varuna are his two testicles. This means that as a person is complete with all bodily organs, but they are of different types, with different potencies. When the Lord is described as impersonal, therefore it should be understood that this personality is not exactly the type of personality found within our imperfect speculation. Like we see, how can such person be there? That's why they say, oh, he does not have, he is the impersonal. Impersonal, he does not have our material conception, material forms, something spiritual. One can, however, worship Lord even by seeing the hills and mountains or the oceans, the sky as different part and parcel of the gigantic body of Lord Virat Rupa. And then next one, O King, the rivers are the veins of the gigantic body, the trees are the hairs of the body, and the omnipotent air is his breath. The passing ages are his movements, and his activities are the reactions of the three modes of nature. We'll just see how many shlokas we have. 39. And we have 34. Okay. We'll just take some 2, 3, and maybe by tomorrow we can complete, and I will take this one explanation for all of you. The personality of God is not a dead stone, nor is inactive as is poorly thought by some schools. He moves with the progress of time, and therefore he knows all about the past and future along with his present activities. There is nothing unknown to him. The conditions are driven by the reactions of modes of nature, which are the activities of the Lord. He knows what will happen to our future. But he don't want to know it. If he knows, then there is no maja. So he keeps his as hidden and he performs his activities so that he'll enjoy that activity. That is the difference. And the power behind the activities is the supervision of Lord, and thus the Lord is never inactive, as is wrongly conceived. Like that. The same is confirmed him, the air on which the universe and the planets within the universe is nothing but the bit of breath of unchallengeable Virata Purusha. So even by studying the rivers, trees, airs, and passing days, one can conceive the personality of God without being misled by the formless conception of Lord. This is how best of the crews, the clouds which carry water, the hairs on his head. The termination of day or the nights are his dresses, The supreme cause of material creation is his intelligence, his mind is the moon, the reservoir of all changes. The principle of matter, Mahatattva, is consciousness of the omnipotent Lord as accepted by the experts. The Rudradev is ego. The horse, mole, camel, and elephant are his knees, and wild animals and all quadrupeds are situated on the belt zone of the Lord. Varieties of birds are indicated of his masterful artistic sense. Manu, the father of mankind, is the emblem of his standard intelligence, and humanity is his residence. The celestial species of human beings like the Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Charanas, and angels are all represent his masculine rhythm, and the demonic soldiers are representation of his wonderful powers. Oh, we have 2 more shlokas, we will complete. That is, aesthetic sense of the Lord is manifested in his artistic, colorful creation of varieties of birds like peacocks, parrots, cuckoos. The celestial species of human beings like the Gandharvas and Vidyadharas sing wonderfully and can entice even the minds of the heavenly demigods. Their musical rhythm represents the musical sense of the Lord. How then can he be impersonal? This is the question. There is a question. If a desire is to die as soon as possible, that is not good. That is not a good option. We should live our body in Krishna consciousness. That is because now if we die, because we have so many conditionings, what happens is we continue to struggle. Unless we develop love, we will continue again and again. We will continue to be born again and again in this life because we are not completely purified. At least we should cross the stage of Nishtha, which is very safe for us. Until we that, if we leave the body, then there is a risk that we will be born in some situations again to practice Krishna consciousness. It will be favorable or unfavorable, we don't know. And we have to struggle so much. Better is if you cross Nishtha, wherever we are, we can easily do it. If not, then it is little risky. Because now we are struggling, all the facilities and all. And we are with our anarthas, and there is so many temptations. You just open the mobile, so much temptation. It takes hours and hours. Or if you go for so many other things, there are so many temptations. This desire to live, it is an impersonal desire. It is like mukti. We don't want mukti. This is jnana tendencies. This is contamination of jnana to die early and all. We don't want to die. We want to serve. And whatever Krishna wants, let him desire. I'm serving here or serving there. We need, instead of getting a desire to get to live this world, we should get desire. Always let me serve. Wherever I am, I should serve. If I'm in this body or next body or any body, let me continue serving. That should be our always desire. And then it is safe for us. Otherwise, it is not safe. This is a jnana tendencies to get. Death is what? To get free from suffering. The tendency to get free from suffering is jnana tendency. Like that. Yeah, it's an obstacle for me. Yeah, this is a nice purport, one part. This life is a chance for the conditioned souls to regain his eternal God consciousness and thus fulfill the mission of life. See, this is the life purpose, not to commit suicide. Maharaj Prahlad is the right type of representative of the Lord in the family of Asuras. None of the living being is away from the Lord's gigantic body. See, none of the living being away. We are all connected. But how you directly or indirectly? Direct connection is you accept him, and indirect connection is law of karma. Like that. Each and every one has a particular duty in relation to the Supreme Body. Disruption in the matter of discharging the specific duty assigned to each and every living being is cause of disharmony between one living being and another. But when the relation is re-established in the relation with the Supreme Lord, there is complete unity between all living beings, even up to the limit of wild animals and human society. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed this living unity in the jungle of Madhya Pradesh, where every Even the tigers, elephants, and many other ferocious animals perfectly cooperated in glorifying Supreme Lord. This is the way to peace and amity all over the world. And the Virat Purusha's face is the Brahmanas, his arms are the Kshatriyas, his thighs are the Vaishyas, and the Shudras are under the protection of his feet. All the worshipful demigods are also overtaken by him, and it is the duty of everyone to perform sacrifice with the feasible gods to appease the Lord. Okay, we have 3 verses. They are a little big. We'll take it tomorrow. Thank you all very much for your patience hearing. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam